What's happening, everybody? Thought I'd make a video pertaining to this particular subject that's been on the news for the past couple of days. Of course, I'm speaking of the actions of former Fort Worth police officer Aaron Dean and what he did this past Saturday night. Really, what had happened is that Dean was doing what was called a wellness check. Apparently, he was responding to a neighbor's call that basically that led up to her door. Now, I'm reading some of the information here from usatoday.com on what's going on here. Basically, according to this, Dean was arrested on Monday evening on a murder charge and was freed hours later on a $200,000 bond. Now, the charge for murder was filed less than 3 days after Dean, who after doing this, resigned from the Fort Worth Police Department, shot Atatiana Jefferson, 28 years old, and during what was called a wellness check. Now, here's the thing. He shot Atatiana Jefferson through the window of her home, where she was playing video games with her nephew. And it's just real, and this really, according to intern police chief Ed Krause earlier said that incident eroded the trust we have built with the community. He also said that there was absolutely no excuse for the shooting and pleaded with the community in that area not to let the actions of one officer reflect on the entire force consisting of almost 1,700. Basically, he doesn't want the people to think that all the cops in the Fort Worth PD are all racist, are all evil, are all bastards and all that stuff, you know, because of what one officer did, you know. People tend to do that a lot when it comes to cops and certain incidents like these, you know. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people out there saying, oh, yeah, must have been racially profiled, he was a racist or that. No. Until we find out any other proof, let's not bring the race card into this. Okay? Apparently what it was is that it was a miscalculation. It was a jumping of the gun. It was one of those shoot first, ask questions later scenarios. And as a result of that, Mr. Dean's going to probably go to trial. He may or may not be found guilty. We don't know. And next thing you know, he's going to probably end up in prison for a good long number of years. Now, once again, interim police chief Ed Krause said basically, we understand your frustration and disappointment. I too am frustrated and disappointed about what occurred, that officers' actions. We never want an officer to respond to a call to result in the loss of life. Now, the authorities also released an arrest warrant in which the 8-year-old nephew says his aunt pointed a gun at the window after they heard suspicious noises outside. Basically, that's the whole thing was. They were hearing noises and an officer is usually called in to check up on the place, see if there's any burglars, any intruders, any idiots lurking around the area. We've seen that happen many times. also said that the officers apparently believed they were responding to an open structure call, which could have meant the home was being broken into rather than a welfare call where they had to check to make sure people in the home are safe. Krause also became emotional when he said other officers in the department are hurting, but supporting his quick action in the case. He liked their efforts to building relationships in the community with ants working on an anthill, basically. He said, basically, quote unquote, then something comes with a hose and washes it all away. They have to start from scratch. Now, I can only say this, like I said earlier, this wasn't racially motivated, though people are going to try and provoke it as that. It was simply like I said, the shoot first, ask questions later theory that sometimes cops have at times. Now, I understand where Dean was coming from when it comes to scenarios like this. Cops really have to be on guard when they do wellness checks or any check of any area, where it's a field, a house, because you never know what's going to be lurking in the back. There could be somebody behind you, hidden carefully back with a shotgun in their hands or a little pistol, waiting to take aim at you any moment. But I guess in Miss Jefferson's case, it was basically, as I said, the third time, jumping the gun with two ahead of time. Well, we'll have to wait and see how it goes out here afterwards, Before I end this video, I want to send my thoughts and prayers and condolences to the friends, the relatives, and the family of Atatiana Jefferson. She was a good-looking girl after seeing some photos of her. It's sad that her life got taken away at a scenario such as this. It's sad that her life got taken in general. And for those who are upset at all this, what this cop did, do us a favor. Don't blame every cop on the force, whether it's in Fort Worth, Dallas, Houston, Conroe, anywhere. Don't blame all the cops. Just blame Aaron Dean. He was the one who fucked up. And most likely he's going to suffer deeply for this. Okay? I'm Dr. Earl. Thank you for watching. Leave some comments below. Hit that like button. And subscribe to my channel. Let's keep it safe, people.